Episode 4.
Sorry, stop, cut! Oh, stop the movie up here at the top of the tree. Big tree. Zoom in, way up here. You see me? April Fools, I'm down here behind this little bush. You think I'm gonna risk my neck climbing way up there? Yeah, right. Before we get started with today's episode, I want to remind you questers how cool it is to subscribe. Everybody's doing it, you should do it too. Well, on second thought, maybe doing things just because everybody else is doing it isn't a good way to make wise decisions, but click subscribe below just to jump into the joy of the quester community. Let's roll that episode from the top. Here we go.
Episode 4. Morality Mountain Range. What is right and what is wrong?
Well, my questers, we have come so far already, but there's still a long ways to go, and we're finding many answers, many things we did not know. We're coming up on Morality Mountain Range now, where we'll find out the difference between right and wrong somehow. Ooh-wee. I don't know how long it's been since I've last eaten, and I am getting hungry. Ooh, maybe I'll eat the stick bug. Ah, that's not a stick bug, that's just another stick. Rats. The word morality has to do with knowing the difference between right and wrong, good from evil, understanding the differences between the things that we can do and the things that we can't do, the things that we should do and the things that we shouldn't do. But how do we know right from wrong? Is it just up for each of us to decide on their own what's right and wrong? Or should we take a big vote and decide what everybody wants to do and call that right? What makes something good or evil?
What is right? What is wrong? Is there any way to know? When I'm faced with a tough question, which direction I should go? Sometimes I want to do the wrong things, even when I've been told no. And it's so perplexing and so distressing when I am just left guessing. What is right? What is wrong? What is false and what is true? In my quest to find the answers, I am searching for a clue. Is there something or somebody who can tell me what to do? 'Cause there are things inside that I've tried so hard to hide. When I've decided to do something I knew was wrong. Are some choices good and evil? Or is every decision equal? I need a compass with a needle to point the way. Ever since the very beginning, the compass needle of my heart has been spinning, and I'm worried that in the ending I'll lose my way. What is good? What is bad? What is right and what is wrong? If I ever find an answer, I will write it in a song. And I hope that many others just like you will sing along, so that me and you will know what's right and true. And that is what we'll do our best to do. You know, as we're thinking and talking about the differences between good and evil, I'm remembering that on the very first page of the Bible, God made a world that was totally, perfectly, and completely good. So if I want to understand good, I've got to start with God, because He's the one who thought of all the goodness to begin with. And every single pair of opposites that God made, He saw and said, "It is good." If the world was made so perfectly good in the beginning, then why is there now so much sadness and sickness and suffering and pain? Worst of all, why is there so much death in this world? I can't help but think that something's wrong with this world, and that it's no longer as good as God first made it and wanted it to be. Where did this knowledge of good and evil come from? Well, what do you know? I just found me a little snack out here. Thank you! Wow, I'm gonna save the rest of that for later. For now, I think I just need to keep on reading to see if this book gives any answers to the questions of morality. I think I was in chapter 2. Let's pick up where we left off. Sorry for talking with my mouth full. Then the Lord God formed the man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. In perfect peace, creation stood. God said with pleasure, "It is good." The man and wife lived in God's light. Love filled this whole world with delight. Adam and Eve were fully free to feast on the fruit from any tree, except one tree which God reserved to test their trust in His rule and word. But one vile serpent slithered about, whose question sowed the seeds of doubt. His poisonous words soaked into their hearts, and their sin tore them and God apart. Oh no, this is terribly bad news. All of the goodness that God filled this world with began to fall apart and rot away after people stopped listening to Him. Since God is the source of all life, when we turned away from Him, we were choosing death. Since God is the source of all goodness, turning away from Him, we chose badness of every kind. And you want to know why I believe this story is true? Because this story makes the most sense of the world that I see. Because when I look around at the world about me, I see the same thing happening over and over. People choosing to have it their own way and doing what they want, deciding good and evil on their own instead of listening to God and seeking His way and His will and obeying His word. And it always leads to more pain and more brokenness and more destruction. Why can't these things just be much more clear? Is God now always silent? Or am I just unable to hear? And if He did speak loud enough for me to hear His voice, would I even obey Him or just make my own selfish choice? I mean, if the very first perfect people who God ever made were deceived and disbelieved and then disobeyed, they broke the one and only rule that God ever gave them, have I just been following in their footsteps of sin? Well, this book is my map to my mighty magnificent maker, like Captain said. Maybe I'll skip ahead a few chapters and see if it has something better to say. Chapter 6 of Genesis. The Lord saw how great the wickedness of the human race had become on the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time. Okay, maybe I'll skip ahead a little bit. Jeremiah, he sounds nice. Jeremiah 17. The heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it? Let me skip ahead even more. Mark. Okay, he sounds fine. Mark chapter 7. Again, Jesus called the crowds to him and said, "Listen to me, everyone, and understand this." Well, okay, this book quotes Jesus. I've heard that he was the greatest moral teacher to ever live, and that he had the most important lessons about right and wrong, good and evil, and morality. So let's listen and see what he had to say to the crowds. What comes out of a person is what defiles them, for it is from within, out of a person's heart, that evil thoughts come: sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, greed, malice, deceit, lewdness, envy, slander, arrogance, and foolishness. All these things come from inside and defile a person. Even Jesus said we have bad hearts. And if that's really true, then what is the solution? Is there something I can do? I don't want to be stuck with an evil heart, and I bet neither do you. So what's the next step in this quest? We need to find a clue. Let's go. We're on a quest to find the answers, and we won't stop till we do. With our hearts and minds, let us search and find till we find out what is true. That didn't take long at all, questers. Take a peek. What have we here? Some sort of fantastic clue, I suppose? Okie dokie. Oh, what? The person who truly desires to discover what God requires must climb to the highest peak of stone, and there God's highest rules shall be shown. But on the northern path you must stay. Beware lest you stray and disobey. Wow, questers, that's an important clue. And what have we here to go along with it? It's a compass! A compass to lead us in the northern way, which is that-a-way. And that just might be the highest peak of stone that I can see. Let's head out to find God's highest rules on the highest peak of stone. We're on a quest to find the answers. Now, what in the world have we here? Bridges of riches? Oh, I'd fill my britches with riches if I had the chance. Is that a gold coin? I love finding free money. Oh, sweet Sacagawea, it's a gold coin. And a coin pouch to go with it. This is my lucky day. Nothing wrong with finding a little free money laying around. Whoa, wonderful Washington, a $1 bill, and some sweet silver as well. Oh, that's definitely real. Oh, my jubilant, jolly, joyful Jackson. Bridges of riches. Whoa. I'll be back, Narrow Path. Coming right back. Okay, come on. More money, more money. Where's the moolah? Oh my goodness. Oh, there's the score. Jackpot! What a score. You've got to be kidding me. Woo, yes.
Haven't you heard the love of money is the root of all evil?
Not right now. Go away, this is a gold mine. Oh, money. Now this is some real bona fide cash money moolah bling bling ka-ching ka-ching. What was that? Okay, maybe I've been on this path too long. I gotta get back to the right path. I gotta get back, but something's holding me back.
It's your greed that's holding you back.
Oh, maybe you're right. Oh, I gotta get off this path or it's gonna devour me. This is gonna be the death of me if I hold on to it. I gotta let go. Let go.
Let go! I think we've lost him. How foolish of me to go this way. That was a mistake. Oh, that could have cost me my life and my quest. I gotta get back up to the highest peak of stone, northward like I was told. Oh, I never should have strayed off this path. I made it to the highest peak of stone! Now the highest standard of right and wrong, the highest morality will be shown to me. Oh my goodness, is that them? Oh, but ought I dare to take a look? What if it just proves that I'm a crooked crook and reminds me of the right path I forsook and all of the wrong ways which I've took? I can't turn back now. I've come too far to end my quest here. Mighty Maker, I want to know right from wrong the way that you define it, not my own definition or a standard that comes from my own skewed, sinful, selfish heart. What are these? And God spoke all these words. I am the Lord your God. You shall have no other gods before me. You must not make for yourself an idol of any kind. You shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God, for the Lord will not hold anyone guiltless who misuses his name. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. Honor your father and your mother. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not give false testimony against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house or anything that belongs to your neighbor. Exodus 20:1 through 17. Oh my. Okay, I get it, God. I haven't lived by your law. I haven't lived up to your standard of right and wrong. I've broken every one of these laws, at least in my heart and in my mind. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What? They changed. Jesus said, love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these 2 commandments. I have definitely not lived up to those commandments. There's no way around it. I am so sinful. I've never loved you perfectly, not even for a moment, with all of my heart and soul and mind. I've only loved my selfish self that way. And I've definitely never loved my neighbors that way, not even my family. I am so guilty. My conscience was right. And now I feel awful about how awful I've been.
If this is right, I've been wrong, and now I actually know that I've done so many wrong things recently and long ago. Untrue thoughts and sinful feelings, like small seeds that I let grow, turn to bad decisions. So I covered and hid them, but I'd rather be forgiven. If there's a way to be made right after wrong choices I've made, but how can I make up for all of God's laws I've disobeyed? Can't sin be erased or washed away? Because I feel so afraid that the darkness in my heart has torn me and God apart. So I'm searching now for some way to be saved. I've made choices that were evil, wronging God and hurting people. I've been following a compass which led me astray. Ever since the very beginning, my heart has led me towards selfish sinning. So please give me a brand new heart, oh God, I pray. You're good, I am bad. You are right and I am wrong. There is so much sin inside me that I know does not belong. I've been living selfishly in sin far from you for so long. But oh God, I pray, if there's possibly some way, please forgive me and wash all my sins away.
Well, thanks for being our guest on today's amazing quest. I hope that you are blessed and impressed and will join us for the rest. The Quester community is a nonprofit rooted right here in glorious Southern Oregon. Our goal is to gift all of our videos free of charge to the youngsters in this world, but we're in need of some grown-ups who will gladly help cover the cost of that. If you'd like to partner with us as a Quester investor, click the link in the description below, questercommunity.com. You can also help us grow by subscribing, liking, and sharing our videos with the youngsters in your community. Because you can't spell community without you and I.